All right, guys, welcome to the Credit Game. This is the first and only channel that comes to you every single day, Monday through Friday, and sometimes on Saturday, to give you the knowledge you need. If it's your first time on the channel, please do me a favor. It helps out tremendously. I know I asked you guys to do this, but hit that subscribe button. I don't know what side it's on. It's on one of these sides. The subscribe button really helps. It helps out you, right? You become a master when you can do 10,000 hours of anything in your life. 10,000 hours, you become a master at that craft, which equals end up being just slightly over a year. But you become a master, right? So the more you do things, the better you get, right? Chess masters have got so many hours in, and that's why they think 14 moves ahead. What if you could do that with credit? What would your credit look like, right? So that's why I teach every day. I don't come to you once a week. I come to you every single day to hold you accountable so you can watch the videos to make sure you learn. This channel is about learning. It's about taking action. It's about what mom and dad never did for us. Well, at least for me. And schools never taught, right? No school has ever taught the system of credit. No school has ever taught the system of finance other than professors in college, which is not real life. So why do I want to come to you every day? Because I want to make sure that you are watching the video. So do me a favor, subscribe, smash the like button if you could find in your heart to do that as well, and turn on the bell notification. There's only 3 things I ask for you to do every day, and that makes our channel grow, which helps you and helps others, and ultimately helps the United States raise the national credit average from 667 to over 700. Now, we're going to talk about a topic that, again, just so you guys know, if it is your first time, you know that I get all my content straight from the heart, but also it's from what you guys are asking. This is probably the most asked question in credit repair, in credit, in any type of credit situation that most people ask this question. That is, what is a good FICO score and how do I raise it? That is the #1 question I get from clients. So what is a good FICO score? Well, you have to look at, again, what FICO is. We'll talk about that. And also, what are you trying to do? So a good FICO score ultimately would be over 780, which is classified as Class A or excellent. Anything over 780, so from 780 to 850 would be considered the same interest rate, anything over that, anything over 780, you're just saying I'm bragging, right? I got an 827, it makes no difference from someone from a 781, okay? Somebody with an 813, somebody with an 849, somebody with made a perfect credit score. It is the same. So what is a good FICO score? I would say a great FICO score would be 780 plus, okay? Now, there's different models, tons of different models. You got the Vantage, you've got FICO, FICO 2, FICO 3, FICO 5, FICO 8, you got FICO 9, and I'm gonna turn on this one, the one I've been telling you guys about for so long that you have not taken action on, that's gonna bend you over and spank you badly. That's about to be launched in the next 2 to 3 months. It's already been launched, but it's gonna spank you if you don't pay attention to what I'm telling you now. I bring the news to you prior so you can take action, not after the fact so you get hosed. FICO 10 trending is coming out the first month, they're saying, of 2021. What that means is the lenders are going to be able to have a snapshot of 24 months prior to what your credit report looks like. Whereas now, FICO 8, they basically see a snapshot of what your credit looks like when they pull your credit. The trending FICO 10 is game over. In fact, it's going to be so game over for the people that are under 650, they just don't even know it yet. I'm trying to give you the information prior. So here's the thing, guys. Is there are 150 million people in America right now, especially what we just went through with the economy, that have a credit score under 625. 150 million people suffer from under a score of 625. How does that happen? Like, I get it happens, and it's not your fault because you never learned it. Mom and dad may not teach it. No school ever taught it. How would you know other than trial and error? It's called the credit game. That's why I created it. I created it for me, and I just happen to share it with the world. But I'm telling you this is that I want to come to you every day because I want you to watch the videos every day so you learn what to do and what not to do. And I'm telling you ahead of time, if you guys that are under a 650 credit score have not taken action on your credit, it is going to be very, very difficult to get a vehicle, a credit card, a home, start a business, finance stuff, get new furniture, get loans. You guys are paying 2 times what you should be paying for a mortgage. Almost double. $2,000, like let's say a $200,000 home, right? Somebody with good credit should be paying somewhere between, I don't know, $1,000, $1,100. You guys are paying $1,800, $1,900 for the same home. For a car, I got somebody that said the other day, I'm blessed, right? You guys hear, you know, like, I'm blessed. Well, you're blessed. You're paying $650 for a 2011 Charger, and they're putting on Facebook, I'm blessed. That car goes for about $300 a month at best. But you're happy, but you settled. You know, I don't want to BS you. I don't come here to BS you. I don't sugarcoat anything. I tell you the facts of credit because this is your life. And your life matters to me, and I want to help you. But you got to commit to yourself. That is not blessed that you got a $650 car payment when you should be paying literally less than $300 for the same exact vehicle. How's that blessed? So again, there are a lot of different models. A great FICO score would be 780 plus. FICO's coming out. It's already been launched. Now we're just waiting for lenders to adopt it. And when that happens, the people that are under 650 are going to get spanked. I'm sorry. If you don't take action, you're going to get hurt. And what I mean by hurt is just live your life. Just live your life. And just do what you've been doing. Just crawl into a corner and live your life with an under 650 credit score. And what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to do anything with credit. It's going to be very difficult for you to get loans. So you'll be a cash guy or a cash girl. Kings and queens, I'm talking to you. This is not who I talk to on my channel. I want people that are dedicated to fixing because it's your duty and responsibility, and it's your like who are you in your family? Do you want to live like I don't do credit cards, or I can't get a loan, or I can't upgrade my house, or I can't do this, or I can't get a better car for my family, or I can't even buy my first house because my credit's shit? Like, why do you want to live like that? You live like that because it's in your mentality. Like, your mentality is small. You're thinking about, it's so difficult to get it to my credit score raised because you never were taught it. It's not your fault, but I'm here to help you and tell you it is extremely easy to raise your credit score. And I'm going to give you 4 tips on how to do it. And the first one that I'm going to give you is this. Did you guys know that there are ways to remove negatives from your credit report? In fact, you have the right to remove anything that's negative, obsolete, unfair, unduly incorrect from your credit report. The onus is put on the credit bureau for them to verify the information or remove it. You all know that. You have the legal right to challenge the information on your credit report, okay? Now, whether you hire somebody to do that or you do it yourself, the difference is one are professionals and the other one's you, and you may not know what you're doing, right? One is time, it takes a lot longer. The other ones know exactly what to look for and then how to remove it, okay? But did you know that you can actually add positives to your credit report? And I don't mean trade lines. I don't mean authorized user trade lines. What I mean is, can you imagine if you could actually add your rent payments that you've been making rent on time with, your cable bill, your phone bill, your Netflix bill? All those payments could be added as positives to your credit report. But you have to know about a few things, and that's why I bring it to you. If you guys don't know about rent reporters or Rental Karma or Experian Boost, those 3 things I just told you, you go back to this video 100 times if you need to. Your phone bill, your cable bill, your Netflix account, your rent payments that you've been making payments. You could even contact if you bought a house, you can even contact the owner of the house that you're renting from and ask, it's worth a shot, if they would report the information to the credit bureaus. It don't even have to be an apartment. What you want to do is rent reporters or Rental Karma, they will report the rental payments of history back at least 2 years. Okay, and when I talk about FICO 10 in a minute, you're going to understand why it's important. They go back 2 years. So immediately, you just got 2 years of positive history. Now remember that your credit score is made up of different elements. 35% is your payment history. So what if you could put positives and sink down some of those negatives, right? Let's look at this for a minute. let's say you have 3 or 4 negatives and you have maybe one positive that you making payments on. Example. What if you then soak down and push down those negatives by putting on your rent, your cable, your phone, and your Netflix payment? Experian Boost, contact Experian Boost, they'll be able to add everything except for your rent. Rental Reporters or Rental Karma will be able to add your rent payments. If you're renting a home, possibly the homeowner can actually report the data to your credit bureaus. It's worth a shot. I just gave you something that literally is 35% of your credit scores, your payment history. The more history you have on there, it's going to push down the negatives by putting positives on. Tip number 2, utilization. This is 30% of your credit score. Let me give you an example. There's been a big controversy of where do we want to keep our utilization at? Most people say, if you keep it under 20%, you're good. That's wrong. The most beautiful number that you're looking for is the number 2. It's not paid off. Most people will say paid off completely. In my opinion, not correct. Okay? Paying it off, then basically you won't have any interest, but it won't be revolving from the standpoint of it actually reporting each month. You want to show a little bit, and I mean very little bit, and that magic number 2 will have your highest credit score possible. Now, so when I say tip number 2 is utilization, what I'm talking about is take a look at all your credit cards that you have. Okay? And here's what you need to do. This is called the snowball effect. What I want you to do is I want you to go through each credit card. And the first thing you need to do is call the back of the card and ask the card for the closing statement date. Each one of your credit cards will have a different date. Okay? So let's say you've got 1,000, a 500, and a 300. Your lowest credit card is 300, then you have a 500, then you have 1,000. Okay? Each statement date from that card is a different date. Find out what that date is, write down, say it discovers your 1,000, write down the closing statement date by calling the back of your Discover card and say, what is my closing statement date? They will tell you. Okay? Same thing with the 500, same thing with the 300. Now, here's what you need to do. You need to make sure that you pay before the closing statement date, not the due date. They are 2 different things. So this is the tips and tricks I bring you guys because most people think it's due on X date, but what happens is most of the time that is after the statement date. You want to make your payment before the statement date of that particular card. Okay, now here's what snowball means. It's called the momentum, right? Do you ever right, you push a snowball like up a mountain, right? But then once you get it to the top, what happens? It becomes easier and easier, and then literally it starts rolling down. The way you get momentum in anything in life, in business, in personal, in working out, just life in general, is called momentum, right? It's the mindset of momentum. It's your seeing progress, right? Because if we're not growing, what are we doing? Put it in comments. So the answer is what you guys need to do is you need to get your cards to 2%, but you want to start with the lowest credit limit card. That $300 card needs to be paid down to 2%. That is the first course of action I would do. I would look at my $300 card, okay, and I want to get that card down to $6. I hope my math was correct. You want to get that card down to $6. Okay, 2% of the total credit limit. Okay, then that's very easy to do, right? Then you're going to move to your 500. And you're going to get that card to $10. 2%, $500 credit limit. Okay, $10. You want to pay it down to get to $10. Then you want to go to the $1,000 credit limit card. Where you see how we're getting momentum? The first one's paid off, you feel like it's a win. It's like making your bed every day in the morning. It's a win. It's the first win you get. And if you start your day with a win, you're going to continue to have a good day. They're little small wins that make up little small wins and little small wins, and finally you get success. Same thing in business, same thing in working out. You don't see the results until you start doing it day after day. Get your credit card, the first lowest credit card, down to 2%, and then move. So right, we're at a 300, then we're going to move to our 500. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to get that thing paid down to 2%, and then we're going to move to the 1,000. Now, all of our cards are at 2%, which is going to be the best utilization possible. the magic number. Literally, like your score is going to like go through the roof. So you want to have raise your score. Look at the two factors that are contributing to the biggest part of your score. Payment history, 35%. I just told you how to add positives to push down the negatives so you can put on years of history by going to those companies. Contact Experian Boost, tell them you want to report your phone bill, your cable bill, and you want to do your Netflix. Okay, power bill and all that. Contact Rental Karma or Rent Reporters and say, hey, I would like to record and have you guys post my rent. I've been making payments for years. They will put on at least 2 years of history for you. Now you're pushing down those negatives in the meantime, right? Then you're gonna go to your credit cards. Find out, write down the name of the card, write down the statement date underneath of it, start with the lowest credit card, start paying that thing down to 2%, move on to the next one, move on to the next one, and boom, you have a 2% utilization. I'm telling you guys something right now, this has changed thousands and thousands of lives. What I'm telling you right now is the easiest way to raise your FICO credit score, okay? So, but I understand that a lot of people don't have all that money. I understand it. Maybe you don't have the 1,000, the 1,500, the 2,000. Who knows what your credit card limits are? And maybe you're like, Mike, I don't have it to get them all down to 2%, right? That's why you start with the lowest one. But what else could you do? What else could you do? And this is trick number 3. What else could you do that would offset the utilization, which again is 30% of your score, to lower the utilization without you actually having to make a payment to the credit card? That's why I told you I'm going to give you trips. I'm just the golden nugget right here. What you do is you add a high limit trade line with a high limit onto your credit report. Let's use that example for exact, and let's say you have a 300, a 500, and a 1,000. Okay, so your total credit, 1,000, 1,500, 1,800. What if you put a $25,000 credit trade line on your credit report and authorized user trade line? 25,000. The debt stays the same, and all you're doing is now adding in 25,000 more. So now instead of 3 accounts, you have 4 accounts, right? So now you would have a 300, a 500, a 1,000, and a $25,000 authorized user account. So the debt doesn't change, right? So I don't know where your debt would be on these, right? I don't know what your utilization is. But for example, if you put $25,000 credit limit, now you have to add the 25,000 to 1,000 or 26,000, 26,500, 26,800, and then 26,800 combined total credit limit divided by how much utilization you have. And I guarantee you, if you did that, and that was the scenario that we were looking at, your score would climb through the roof because you're adding in $25,000 of new credit onto your credit report. This is called an authorized user, and what that means is you're piggybacking off of somebody with excellent credit. Somebody with more than likely that has over a 780 credit score who is willing to share their credit with you, whether it's a family member, a friend, or whether that is using our VIP vendor who has been vetted and screened and checked out to make sure that their utilization is low. They've never missed any late payments because it's a copy paste. They're willing to share their credit and say, you know what, I'm willing to add you onto my credit card, and what's going to happen is that $25,000 credit limit will then report to your credit report as if it was you. And what happens is your score just goes nutso, and literally it starts raising like crazy because you're lowering utilization and you're adding on another positive account. Okay? Tip number 4, and this again is about a trade line. Understand this: age trumps credit limit. So in a case where you have low utilization, you're like, you know what, I got low utilization, so I don't need a really high credit limit. I want to always tell you this: the age of the account will trump the credit limit. Give you an example. I would rather have a $3,000, $4,000 credit limit with 15 years rather than a $20,000 credit limit with a year-old. I would take the $3,000 with 15 years of history, hands down, over a $50,000 credit limit with less than a year. Why? And this is the biggest misconception. People, oh, I want a 50K credit card. Age trumps credit limit. Because when lenders are looking at your credit, especially when we're talking about FICO, that's about to be launched. I say launched just because it's already been launched in June of this year. But lenders are now starting to adopt it. When once they have it, you better have aged accounts on there, okay? So now, age, I don't recommend anything under 2 years because they can look back 2 years, okay? And if they look back 2 years and they see something that just got put on that's a 6-month-old, it's not gonna work, okay? So any trade lines have to be over 2 years, all right? But think about it like this. As a lender, they wanna make sure that you've been making payments. How good does this look like if you had a $5,000 credit limit with 15 years of perfect payment history? So maybe you went through a bankruptcy and you're like, you know what? I need to start over. I got a clean slate, but I don't know what to do. Well, the way that I went through it, the old school way, was I got a secured credit card, then I went to the next card, and then I got my next card, and right? That's the old school way. Today, people know they're smarter than that, right? And that's why I want to bring it to you, to give you the insight to save you years of time. You could either literally do it like I did back in 2013, which is get a secured credit card, then hopefully get your Capital One, right? Everybody knows, go to Capital One Platinum, go there, and then you go to your Discover IT card after that post and you make 3 to 4 payments there. Then you can start building it up, and it takes a while. Or you can add an aged trade line or two to your credit report because maybe you just went through credit repair and you got a clean slate. Maybe you went through a bankruptcy and you're like, I don't want to do the whole secured card route. I just want to get started right away. Literally, this is a process that could take literally under 60 days. You could put a couple trade lines on in under 60 days. You're starting to get big boy credit cards instead of having to wait and do the secured card $200 credit limit and then the Capital One that's going to give you maybe $300 to $400 and then maybe the Discover IT card that might give you $800 to $1,000. Then that process takes about 8 to 9 months, maybe a little longer depending on how good you are. Or you can put a few trade lines on and start the process literally within 30 to 60 days at most, okay? Age trumps credit limit. So if it was me and I'm giving you a tip, I would say get 2 trade lines. Get a high credit limit, okay? Something like 20,000 plus, at least 2 years old. Put that with something with a low credit limit, maybe 3 to 5K, 10 to 15 years old. That combination together shows progression. It shows that 10, 15 years ago, you got a $3,000 to $5,000 credit limit. And then you were approved 2 years ago for a $20,000 credit limit. It's called progression. And that's what you want. You want to show lenders that you've been approved for higher and higher limits. Okay? Hope you guys are following me because I'm dropping some gold nuggets to you for today. Now listen, this is for millennials. This is for people with bankruptcy. This could even be for your kids. Maybe you have a 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kid and you're like, you know what? I want to set them up not for failure because we weren't taught it in schools, right? But you could put a trade line on their credit so they can start building credit. So think about that, right? So I'm talking to millennials, I'm talking to people with a clean slate, I'm talking to people that never had any credit at all, I'm talking to people that have, limited credit, what they call a thin file. I'm talking to parents that have children that are upper in 16, 17, 18, that you can put a trade line on them so you can set them up for success and not failure like we went through, okay? That's the people that would be benefiting from having aged trade lines. Now, that does not excuse the other people, like I'm saying. What I did, because I went through credit repair, okay, but also understand this, putting trade lines on your credit report also adds positives and pushes down the negatives. So as you're working on your credit, removing the negative, obsolete, unfair, unduly incorrect information on your credit report, you're then countering that by also adding I told you earlier which ones to go to, Rental Karma, Rent Reporters, and then do the Experian Boost, and putting on 2 trade lines, the high limit, 2 years, the low limit, 10 to 15 years, okay? I just gave you the golden goose to literally fixing your credit. That is the fastest way you're gonna raise your FICO credit score. I know it sounds like a lot, guys. That's what I'm here for, okay? I come to you every day to help you, give you the most information you need. And so for that reason, if you guys want help, I'm here to help you. I got a team out there that is literally gets swamped with calls. We have about 200 to 300 calls that come into our business every day for people that are looking for help. Okay, this isn't a one-man band. It ain't just me. I got a whole team of people out there that want to help. And so if you call, please leave a message. I'll call you right back. That's how busy we are because we get results from our credit game. This is the first ever created platform that has everything in one condensed space. And on top of that, you get free elite credit repair with the purchase of any of my programs that I'm doing. Free elite credit repair. So maybe you're like, you know what? I want the elite credit repair. It's the fastest on the planet. 60-day, get results 60 days. It's free with any of my programs through my VIP vendor. And literally, you'll also be able to get up to 75%. If you guys remember me from before, I had a broker program. I sold it for $3,000. It would give you 50% off of Tradelines. 50% off of Tradelines. Guys, my program is a third of that or less, and you get 75% off competitor prices. And the entire education platform, when I say education, that means that I teach exactly what I did, okay? I'm number one in the credit space. I ran the number one Tradeline company in America for 7 years. I know credit like literally like my kid's name, okay? Because I'm inside it and I've got multiple 10,000 hours into mastering the craft. If you want the help, I can help you, okay? That's just a matter of you just picking up the phone and calling me at 904-420-7772. That's 904-420-7772. When you're watching this video, you need to think about yourself. Are you under 700 credit score and you want a better interest rate, you want to get a car, you want to get a house? How does it feel to have those things that you don't have right now? That will give you a big enough why to say, you know what, Mike, you're right. I do want a better credit score. I do want to fix it by my life. I'm tired. You know how tiring it is to have bad credit? Your whole life depends on this. Everything you do in life, it has something to do with credit. Fix your credit, guys. Right? I'm giving you like everything you need and more. I do the free content here. Call me when you're serious and you're like, you know what? I want the free credit repair with the purchase of my program that I put together for myself. I did not build this for you. I built it for me. And I just happen to share it with the world now. Now, when you want that and you're serious and you're sick and tired, you'll say, you know what? I guess you're right. I am sick and tired, and time is more valuable than money. And when you understand that concept and you can flip, time is the most valuable commodity in the world. Everybody can make more money. So don't worry about the money. You'll make more money. Worry about how much time you're saving and what you can't do in life. You can't put your family in a safe place. You can't drive a nice car. You can't get a nice apartment. You can't buy your first home. You can't start a business. You can't. How valuable is that? You keep wasting your days because everything's about money, right? The successful people don't look at money. The successful mindset says, you know what is this value to me? What you guys are missing out on is that simple shift. I guarantee I'll have at least 200 people that this is resonating with right now that are going, you know what, Mike, you're right. Time is more valuable than money. So put in chat what's more important to you, time or money. Put that in the comments below. What's more important, time or money? And if it's time, then call me at 904-420-7772, and I'll show you how to get the huge discount on Tradelines and also free elite credit repair with our program. I love you guys. It's Mike from The Credit Game. Talk to you soon. Make sure I'm here tomorrow to give you some more data, some more information about what's going on. Take action and be successful in life. Till tomorrow. Take care.